Hello students, in today's video let's discuss how you can solve the KCET 2025 physics questions in less than a minute. I've taken certain amount of questions where literal basics can help you crack the question. Let's see how. So the first question over here is during a elastic collision between the two bodies, what of the following statements can be correct? Okay, let's see. The initial kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy. Absolutely correct. Right? This is absolutely correct. You know this, that during an elastic collision, initial kinetic energy and the final kinetic energy will be equal. Right? Okay. Moving forward. The linear momentum is conserved. Yes. If it's case of elastic collision, linear momentum is also conserved. In case of inelastic collision, linear momentum is not conserved. Third one, the kinetic energy during the change in the time, the collision time is not conserved. That is also absolutely correct. So here the option should be the third one. Okay, the third one here is the option. Okay, the third one is the right answer. Okay, so the solution is also provided here. If you wish to check, you can check it from here. Okay, this was question number 4. I hope it's clear. If you want, you can just go through. Okay, the solution is provided here. And answer 3 is the right answer. Okay. Okay. Moving forward. Next one. Before that, if you wish to take the screenshot, you can just take it. Okay. Now look at this question. So this particular question is quite easy. Why? Let me say why. See here. So a gas is taken from state A to state B, okay, and two different paths has been followed, 1 and 2. Okay, if you remember that the change in energy, internal energy, the difference in the internal energy is path independent. Path independent. Path independent in the sense it only depends on the final and the initial state. Okay, the final and the initial are remaining the same. Path is different, so it is path independent. In the sense, what does it mean? It simply means that delta U1 is equal to delta U2. Okay, this is what it means. Okay, clear? Why? Because internal energy change is path independent. It doesn't matter. Okay, the heat absorbed and the work done by the system. Now another one thing, by first law of thermodynamics, what you should know is that delta U is equals to Q minus W. Is what you should know using first law of thermodynamics. Okay, first law of thermodynamics tells us this. Correct? That delta U is equals to Q minus W. So in that case, what you have, delta U remains common. So in that case, Q1 minus W1 is equals to Q2 minus W2. This is what you should know. Simple. By the time you're done, your answer will be option number 2. So even the solution has been provided. If you wish to check, you can check that. If you want, you can also take the screenshot. So I have mentioned it over here. Okay, simple. Let's move on to the next question. Let me search for that. Okay, now look at this particular question. It's a very simple question again. So here in this particular question, what you have been asked is that at 27 degrees Celsius temperature, the mean kinetic energy of this ideal gas is E1 and the temperature is increased at 327 degrees Celsius. What the mean kinetic energy will look like? It's a very simple question. Why? Because if you know these two particular formulas, that's enough. So in case of translational motion, you've studied this, right? In case of translational motion, what do you have studied? You've studied half mv square is nothing but 3 by 2. Just give me a moment. What have you studied? 3 by 2 kT. Correct. So you've studied that the kinetic energy is simply directly proportional to the temperature, right? But this temperature should actually be in kelvins. Only then you can actually find out the relation. This is what you've studied, right? Translational motion. Remember this. Okay, in terms of translation motion, Kinetic energy and temperature are directly proportional, but temperature should be in Kelvin. But here they have given you it is in 27 degrees Celsius, 327 degrees Celsius. You know, from degrees Celsius to Kelvin, how do you convert, right? Nothing but 273 plus degrees Celsius will give you Kelvin. Correct? This is what you know. So what do you do now? First convert the temperatures. 27 plus 273, 327 plus 273. So find this and then simply take the ratio and you'll get the answer. Right? This is what they have done. Okay, E2 is equals to E1 T2 because E1 by E2 is equals to T1 by T2. Okay, you took the ratio and you found out, and now finally you get to E1 as the answer, which means option number 3 will be the answer. Okay, remember it is translational motion. In the translation motion, you've learned that 3 by 2 kT is equals to kinetic energy. Okay, I hope it's clear. If you want, you can take the screenshot and save it for the later purpose. Please take it. Okay, I hope you have taken. Let's move to the next question. Okay, next question is right over here. So a very interesting question. Okay, now you have been given in the solution various things. Suppose you don't know this particular thing. Okay, but let's go through the question once. The variations of the kinetic energy, potential and the total energy of the function are displayed. Function of displacement of the particle in etc. is shown in the figure. You've been asked to find the modulus of x naught in the answer. Okay, so where is modulus of x naught? Look here very carefully. Just give me a moment. Okay, x naught. Okay, modulus of x naught. This is what they've given us. Okay, they're telling us to find out this value. Now, if you see this value, so in the number line, okay, suppose you have a number line, you have 0, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. Okay, you have this particular thing. Just give me a moment. There's a lag. Okay, so in that case, if I have to find out the 2 value, can I not write that 2 is less than 3? Yes or no? 2 is less than 3, right? In that case, can I not write that x naught, just give me a moment. Again, there is some lag, don't know why. Okay, so x naught is nothing but it is less than a, that is plus a. Can I not write that? Because 2 obviously is less than 3, right? So in that case, if I have a here, then x naught should be less than a, correct? If x naught is less than a, the answer cannot be option number A, because x naught value here is greater than a, 2a, right? 2 times of a, that means it's obviously greater. Okay, and also look here, one more thing that you have, root of a, that means root of 2 is nothing but what? 1 minute, let me check. Okay, yeah, now I think it's fine. So what was I saying? Yeah, so in that case, a as well as root 2. What is root 2? Root 2 is nothing but it is 1.4, correct? So 1.4 a is greater than a, right? So in that case, what do we see? Definitely this and this cannot be the answer. Okay, but a and origin, this is the origin, and a, x naught is not in the exact half of 0 and a, right? X naught is not in the exact half of 0 and a. So definitely this cannot be the answer. Then the remaining answer is nothing but option number 2. Simple, basic general knowledge. Sometimes in the graphical figure, if you've been asked such an easy question, definitely try to use your brain. Okay, don't think always in the terms of formulas and stuffs like that. Okay, if you don't know, if you know, it's very well and good, but if you don't know, don't panic. Okay, you can find it out in such a way, right? So in that case, what is the final answer now? What did we come to know? The final answer here is option number 2. Okay, I hope you understood why it is not 1, 3 and 4. If you want, I can repeat it again. Look at the figure. A should x0 should be less than a. So option 1 and option 3 is not at all the right answer. If I say x0 is very close to a but not in the exact center, center will be somewhere over here, correct? It is slightly towards a only, so it cannot be option number 4, so it should be definitely option number 2. Okay, if you want, you can take the screenshot. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Look here, again basic concept and you're done. What is the concept actually? So look here, it is saying that the angle between the particle velocity and wave velocity in a transverse wave, okay, in a transverse wave, except when the particle passes through the mean position. So in a transverse wave, you know that the particle will oscillate always perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. Okay, it will be always perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So obviously the whatever angle will be formed between them is nothing but pi by 2. Simple, easy, nothing was there. All basics, right? Yes or no? Next, moving forward. Okay, look at this particular question. Again, a simple question. It is said that the potential at the point A is minus, okay, sorry. The potential at the point A is minus 3 volt. Another point is 5 volt. Now they're asking you find out the work done to carry a charge from this to this. So when you're doing some work to carry a charge, remember that is always V, right? That is V. 1 minute. That is V. So V is nothing but W by Q. You know this, right? Work done by charge. Okay, so you have been asked to find out the work done. So in that case, V into Q will give you W, correct? That is what you have. So V into Q will give you W. Okay, so you have final as well as initial. So what you'll do here is charge is given 5 millicoulomb. Milli in the sense 10 raised to power 3. The moment you see milli, it should be 10 raised to power minus 3. Okay, what do you do next? Now see here, lot many children will end up making mistakes over here is that always remember in case of velocity, sorry, not case of velocity, potential. Okay, when it comes to potential, sign matters, sign will matter. Okay, when it comes to charge, we usually don't take the sign, right? If it comes to force also, we usually don't take the sign, but in case of the V, that is potential, sign very matters. So in that case, minus 3 volt should be written as minus 3 volt itself. So final is what? Final is nothing but it is taken from your okay, potential at a point A is so, and that at the potential at B is so. So now it is taken from B to A, that is B to A, correct? B to A. B to A in the sense, what do you have here? Okay, so now if I said B to A, so this is final, this is initial, correct? So final minus initial is delta. Delta is nothing but final minus initial, right? That is what you have. Okay, so can we do that now? Final minus initial, final is A, so in that case it should be minus 3 minus of 5, so that is nothing but minus 8, right? This is what we have. So in that case, now if you simply substitute, the answer you will get is minus 0.04 joule. Okay, you have minus 0.04 joule. So what is that? That is option number 1. Okay, so 1 is the correct answer. If you want, you can take the screenshot. Moving forward, again look at this graph. So this and all you will study in your class 12th. Okay, this particular graphs in your class 12th board exams only you will be studying all this. So this is a very board exam question. So it's a very simple question. They're saying it's a uniformly spread charged body, okay, which is conducting sphere as well. So for conducting spheres you have 3 to 4 graphs. For non-conducting you have, for charged you have, for non-charged also you have, right? Neutral also you have. So all those graphs you have to study. If you study that graph, all that you have to do is blindly mark option number 1. Okay, in case of conducting sphere, E will be equal to 0. For what? For R when it is less than capital R. Okay, so this is what you should remember. This is basics. Okay, so nothing to worry, just go through those graphs. Okay, if you're appearing for the next year competitive exams, I'm just suggesting you that just go through those graphs. They're very important. Okay, so if you want you can take the screenshot. So let's move to the next one. So this will be the last question for the part 1 of this video. So I'll come up with the part 2 if possible, and let's discuss the rest there. Okay, so this is the last question for now. So let's quickly look at that. So here basically what are they telling? Match to column 1 with column 2. Okay, related to electrical dipole and dipole moments and electrical field. Okay, so angle between P and E, if it is 180 degree, what will be the answer? So the potential energy of dipole, for this one formula, if you know, that's more than enough. What is that formula? What is that formula? That is nothing but potential energy is minus of PE cos theta. Cos theta. What is that? U is equals to, let me write it neatly. So U is nothing but it is equal to minus of PE cos theta. Okay, U is equals to minus PE cos theta. If you know this formula, you are sorted. Why? Because 180 degree. What is the answer for cos 180 degree? Cos 180 degree is minus 1, correct? So already in the answer you have U is equals to minus something. Now minus into minus will give you plus. So answer should be plus PE. Plus PE in the sense you have A should be nothing but 2. Okay, that is plus PE. Search for A is equals to 2. Okay, so you can cancel option number 1. Next you have B, 120. Okay, so some children might end up getting confused with 120. No worries, go for C. Check for C first, right? So what do you have? Cos 90 degree. Cos 90 degree is what? It is not 1, it is 0. So the moment you see, C should be equal to 0. Right? 0 into anything is 0. So C is 4. C is 4. Okay. Now can you cancel 2? But you're still in confusion with 4 and 3. Now what do you do? Okay. We will use rest of the mathematics here. What is that mathematics? You know, here cos 120 is given to you. Now can I not write cos 120 as cos of 90 degree plus 30 degree? Yes or no? So cos 90 degree plus 30 degree. So in that case, cos of 90 plus something. Which quadrant is it? Which quadrant is it? Many might forget it. So cos 90 plus theta. So it is third quadrant. So in third quadrant, obviously you know that the cos here will be negative. Okay, it will be negative. Now it is 90 degree plus something. When you have 90 degree, what do you have? What do you have when it's 90 degree? You will have to change the trigonometric function to the other function. If it is cos, it will become sine, correct? It is all for the students who get confused with the basics. Okay, if you know, very well and good, but I'm explaining for the ones who don't know that. Cos theta will give you sine theta. So in that case, it will be simply sine 30 degree but with the minus sign. So minus sign 30 degree means minus half, correct? Minus half, yes or no? But you already have one minus before, right? That is minus PE cos theta. So minus minus will give you plus. So plus half PE will be the answer. So in the sense, B should be option number 3. B with option number 3 is only option number 4. So you are done. Done and dusted, right? Question number, this particular answer will be option number 4. Okay, simple. So I hope it's clear. So once, if you want, you can take the screenshot. Okay, so we are done with today's session. I'll meet you in the next session. Till then, take care and bye bye. And thanks to Alan for providing us with the informative solution PDF. So once again, thanks to Alan. Okay, till then, take care and bye bye, and see you in the next video.